Now, don't get me wrong. It'd be nice to sit back and relax on a voyage every now and again. Let yourself appreciate the world around you, rather than taking part in the endless squabbling or every last trinket and gold piece. But when doing so means sailing around in circles, searching high and low for old relics, markings, and occasionally bodies of other pirates, well, you start longing for the days of treasure maps and skeleton bounties. You see, I got this idea in me head a few days back, a desire to go sightseeing round the Sea of Thieves. But as beautiful as the views from on high can be, well, I'm after something just a wee bit different. I were searching for the legends of the sea. Pirates what made their mark on these lands in some form or fashion. And before you try to say I were just doing this to impress a certain chronicler, just remember, you'll never be able to prove it. Anywho, I'd be going on this endeavor with me crewmate, Salt Squash. Not normally the type to suffer well these long, not-so-profitable ventures. But I mean, it don't be like he had much else to be doing. So, while he got to work scrounging through every barrel he could pry open for anything to stock up our ship, I went to the bar, finding the first of many, let's say, points of interest on what were to be a very, very long voyage. The first one were easy enough, just a plaque on a post. But the next one, well, just because it were on the same island, didn't mean it were near as simple. Needless to say, it took us a while. Luckily, the next one were plain and simple. An old gold hoarder ledger kept in one of them skeleton forts. And you know what else be kept in skeleton forts, aye? Ah! Those be what are kept on skeleton forts. Ah, sweet catharsis. Now then, once we'd found that ledger, it were off to the next island to find the next items on our wee little scavenger hunt. One book and one painting, and that were all for Sharkbait Cove. 2 marks on a long list. Lucky enough, the next few were more on them same lines. Simple, easy to find. A model galleon, and a nice one at that. A nice big rock painting. By the way, what even is this plant? I never seen it anywhere else. A snake basket for catching snakes. On a snake statue. On Snake Island. In honor of a pirate called Tartan Snake. Aye, things were going well, but there was something of a bump in the path ahead. The next point of interest were on the Reaper's hideout. And me own rocky history with the servant aside, there were a galleon already docked there on the island, which were unfortunate. Unfortunate for them! Aye, we sailed right past the raft, delivering unto them a gift, straight from our crow's nest. There were nobody to stop me as I brought the powder keg to their bottom deck. And when one cowardly cur were misfortunate enough to show her face, I made it a point to wipe it clean off with me blunderbuss. Now then, to find the next thing on this scavenger hunt, an old journal, supposedly holding a new shanty by me old mate, Mary Merrick.
Before I retire, I wanted to write one last shanty, inspired by some words I heard being bellowed from me speaking trumpets. This one definitely won't summon any man-eating sea monsters. In fact, I promise to never cause so much trouble again. Well, here we go. We're no strangers to this cove. You know the pirate code, and so do I. A pile of treasure's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get it from any other pirate. I just gotta show you how I'm feeling. You gotta make you understand. 'Cause I'm never gonna break you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna sail around and maroon you. Never gonna steal your eye, never gonna not say I, never gonna sell your booty for a doubloon. It's a work in progress. I think I'll let my fellow pirates fill in the gaps, though. My son Derek seems to think it's hilarious. He suggested the title Merrick Road. I don't get it.
Wow. I think I hate that. So why do I feel compelled to show it to everyone I've ever met? Hey, Squash! Get over here and read this! The cursed shanties aside, we still had many a thing to find elsewhere. Like this wanted poster on Wanderer's Refuge. Or perhaps this, ominous sight on Mermaid's Hideaway. Personally, though, my own preference were for this sign here. I wonder if this club still be looking for new members. Next up, we'd be sailing into New Golden Sands, which, the whispers on the wind be, is soon to be getting a new name to reflect it becoming a proper port. As someone who ran rum during the war over the place, I couldn't be more proud. As much as things may have changed since those days, many still be the same. Jackie's old boom keg, Doug's resume, the old discarded tankards, and old Daimyo Dorma, still working through a checklist of their own. It's always nice to stop by the place. Plenty of good memories to be had. But me and Squash were still on a mission, and the end was still out beyond that horizon. So no lollygagging for us. Next stop, Cannon Cove. Now, I know for a fact it's been pointed out by other pirates, but it bears repeating. Why don't Cannon Cove have any cannons on it? I'd have just called it Pointy Mountain, but no, you're bad at naming things, Captain Fumble. You'll never be an explorer. You're gonna sail with the Grand Maritime Unit like a good boy and make your parents proud. I think I've said too much. Anyhow, me and Squash found the carvings on this rock or here, then set off for the next island on our round-trip tour, Sanctuary Outpost. We had a grand old time here, reading other people's mail, seeing a bucket on a post, observing fine flags, art, and barrels. Hell, even the tavern's name itself were a nod to the pirates of old. But eventually we'd had enough of that, moving on yet again to Lone Cove for yet another poster. Oh, and I blew Squash up again too. To this day, I've no clue why he ran at it like that. Oh well, moving on. We found an old artist's camp on Sailor's Bounty. Some old markings, a child's drawing, a shooting range, and a book on Smuggler's Bay. Also, Squash exploded again. And another great big rock painting on Salty Sands before heading out to the wilds for the next leg of our journey. Specifically Marauder's Arch, where, after obliterating Squash with a K-10, we'd find the body of a pirate called Griffin. Now, on from one dead man to a whole bastion of them. And I'm sure you recall what I said about skeleton forts back at the start of this tale, eh? How do you even fall for that at this point?
I'll notify your next of kin that you sucked!
Eh, what were that, Squash? Alright, fair enough. Next up were the Outposts. Galleon's Grave first, then Daggertooth. Between the two, we found a parcel ready to be delivered, another used shooting range, and a dog bowl at Galleon's. And at Daggertooth, we found another set of wanted posters. Though, interestingly enough, one were real and the other not so much. Next up, we hit Shipwreck Bay. Though, again, we had a bit of a hitch. This time it were an internal debate. Squash were growing wary of me little fun barrels, and were acting a tad unreasonable as a result. I were finally able to convince him to come and talk to me about it face to face like men. Ha! Gotcha! Though I will admit I were starting to see his point just a little. So we agreed. After we found what we were looking for here, we'd take a very short break to do a murder on the way to our next destination.
What are they doing? Oh, that's what they're doing. Alright.
Oh, that felt good! Now, where were we? Yes. On our way to Morrow's Peak for another unsent package before heading off to Ancient Spire. Though it would seem Squash still had a few issues to work out of his system along the way. On the bright side, I found another point of interest right there on the ferry. But on the other hand, it would appear Squash were going just a bit mad.
Fire!
No!
Fire!
No! No! We made it to the outpost just fine. Ancient spire were easy enough to search. Just a violin, a sign, and a painting. Our round trip were nearly over. We just had one more place to hit. The Crow's Nest Fortress. Wait, why is that song playing again? Oh, you've gotta be So, Umbra, as ye can clearly see, I be a chronicler of this place's history, just the same as you. And that be why I like to ask, would ye be so kind as to show me your